Key performance data and financials. The following charts show various aspects of BluBox's projected financial performance. These curves in the chart show revenue generation. It is notable that, if the nature of the business were traditional, the plan would generate only $49 million in year 2020, just revenue from one-time sales, shown by the blue line. Instead, the recurring revenue contributes an additional $29 million on top of the one-time sales revenue, the green line, for a total of $79 million, the red line. Whereas one-time revenue will eventually top off at about $60 million when all resellers are fully productive, the recurring revenue component will continue to grow year on year with little extra expense or labor cost, and will contribute an ever larger proportion of total revenue. Recurring revenue impacts total gross margin dollars, the red line, even more significantly. Recurring revenue dollars, the green line, typically have a much higher gross margin than the one-time sales gross margin, the blue line, particularly when product development cost is expensed year over year, as it is in the BluBOX plan. In 2019, recurring revenue gross margin dollars already surpassed one-time sales gross margin dollars. This slide shows the very high margin percentage produced by the recurring revenue. As that component grows, it pulls up the business's overall margin percentage. This will continue going forward, even if further commoditization pulls down the margin percentage on hardware one-time sales. BluBox's operating expenses are mainly compensation related, particularly because the staff consists mainly of highly paid, skilled individuals. The company runs virtually, which cuts down on office rent and associated expenses. The main elements of expense, besides compensation, are related to sales and marketing. It takes time to rev up the recurring revenue engine, but once done, profits grow fast. According to plan, the company first turns profitable in November 2017. This curve shows the cash position in the early months of the plan along with the anticipated receipt of investor money. The cash is needed to fund the hiring of the BluBOX sales force and company operations until revenue, particularly recurring revenue, grows and becomes the source of cash. This curve shows BluBox's cash position year on year. Cash is infused through 2018 when the recurring revenue is still building, but with operating expenses remaining fairly constant, the recurring revenue converts nearly wholly into cash in subsequent years, and the cash flow turns strongly positive. BluBox's number of contributors has remained fairly steady since the end of 2014, which is the year when most of them became active. The executive team consists of 5 individuals, including the CEO, President, COO, CFO, and CTO. The company counts 12 engineers, including the president and the senior VP engineering, who are both deeply engaged in not only the management, but also the development of the software. There are 4 people in sales and marketing, and 5 in operations. The principal hiring in the forthcoming months is for sales and for the operations staff that is needed to support the planned sales growth. In the later years, operations grows the fastest, in line with the developing business level and the growing installed base, which will require ongoing support. Engineering will grow more slowly. BluBox's earliest contributors came on board as independent contractors working entirely for equity. They signed work contracts whereby they vested in the equity that they received over a period of 4 years. The contract provided that they would gradually become eligible to earn cash as time went by, and the company's cash flow allowed. Cash payments have not yet started for most of them. Some job positions could not be filled on an equity-only basis. 6 individuals were hired as employees and earned both cash and equity. The equity also vests over 4 years. This group anticipates an evolution of its compensation scheme to mostly or only cash when the company's cash flow allows. The cost of providing cash compensation for all non-equity hours that are or were worked in the past has been accounted for in the plan. BluBox's business plan assumes that all sales to end users shall be made by resellers. The resellers, not the end users, are BluBox's direct customers. BluBox categorizes resellers by their size and the amount of business they will generate. The largest are elite resellers, typically businesses generating $10 million or more. At enrollment, BluBox asks these resellers for a $350,000 minimum commitment per year and expects from them $355,000 annually in one-time revenue and $107,000 in additional recurring revenue every year once they reach full productivity. The next level is the premier reseller, typically a business doing $5 million or more annually. This reseller's annual commitment to BluBox is $200,000, and the annual expectation is for $224,000 in one-time revenue and $75,000 in additional recurring revenue per year at full productivity. The lower level is the certified reseller, typically a business doing $2 million annually. This reseller's annual commitment to BluBox is $50,000, and the annual expectation is for $76,000 in one-time revenue, and the addition of $30,000 in recurring revenue per year at full productivity. These curves show the growth in the number of enrolled resellers over time. Examination of the channels serving the larger manufacturers in the industry indicate that a network of 280 resellers, properly distributed geographically, will adequately cover the country. The BluBOX plan assumes 68 elite resellers, 121 premier resellers, and 89 certified resellers once all the resellers have been enrolled. Another way of looking at the reseller productivity ramp-up is to consider the difference between the number of resellers that are enrolled and those that have achieved full productivity. The difference is shown in the above curves. At December 2016, only 4 resellers out of 27 enrolled are productive. In December 2017, the number is 58 of 113, with the ratio closing early in 2019. These curves show the one-time and recurring revenue received by BluBOX from the typical elite reseller. The red curve shows the climb in one-time revenue. It takes several quarters to get to full productivity. Revenue from this source then levels off as expected. The blue curve shows the slower climb of recurring revenue. This is not surprising since recurring revenue is a follow-on to the installation of the system hardware and generates only 20 to 40 cents on each dollar installed. However, after the initial one-time sales revenue, the recurring sales revenue repeats in the years that follow. Eventually, the growing recurring sales revenue catches up to and surpasses one-time revenue. These curves show similar revenue generation by the premier and certified resellers. This concludes our review of the anticipated financial performance of BluBOX's business plan. View the next video by selecting the next topic in the View list.